there is one thing that I think that can help actually promote travel within India and even outbound is to just streamline this LTA policy. I mean, right now is just so much of chaos around that, and therefore people kind of get into all kind of ways and to work around that policy. Why can't just we just make it simple? Because the whole purpose of LTA was, as the name, if you expand it, suggests that it is leave travel allowance. So leave travel, I mean, you're supposed to have an allowance for a holiday. That was the real purpose of LTA. Now, why can't we just make that rule so simple, and maybe just give a tax break or something around that? And so a lot of the private corporates also have this LTA policy, and there is no chaos on LTA policy in the private sector, because it's kept extremely simple. It's kept extremely simple in terms of you are supposed to take leave, and you can take and go on holiday, and this is the amount of allowance that you would get. It's as simple as that. So why is there so much of kind of noise around it? Why can't we just make it simple and let people travel and get the allowance and people travel? I mean, so I think if we make it simple, all these kind of practices would go away completely. So as far as online space is concerned, the revolutionary change that's going to come, and it's kind of already coming in, but it's just going to gain momentum, is actually the smartphone penetration. It's actually the mobile platform. So online was earlier internet access through desktop. More and more it is going to happen through the smartphones. So what needs to be done possibly on the mobile ecosystem, if you will, is to just make those payments on the mobile systems very, very simple. Because right now, given the regulation by the RBI, there is second factor authentication, which is the right thing to do, just to make sure that there are no frauds on digital payment side and all of that. But what needs to be done is to just to make from user perspective, make it very, very simple, without compromising the objective of controlling frauds. So I think there is some more amount of work that can be done by the regulator, just kind of looking at it to make sure that now, because of the mobile commerce happening in a big way, what is that they can be done to just streamline and make it even more simpler. As far as offline channels are concerned, now given that the smartphone penetration is improving, given that the quality of bandwidth with the 3G coming in and 4G is in the pipeline, is actually has improved significantly. And earlier the constraint used to be the broadband, which is like cables laying down. And again, an infrastructure project, it kind of takes time for it to kind of expand, although there were plans and all that, but the execution always kind of gets delayed, if you will. But now 3G and 4G is kind of solving that problem. So so I think what's going to happen more and more is that more and more shift from offline to online is going to happen, as you can see around you, not only for travel, but even for non-travel e-commerce or non-travel mobile commerce. Whether it is tomorrow's small items like there's Flipkart, there's Snapdeal, and there are many others e-commerce companies who've come up and kind of growing already, and so consumer behavior is shifting even more now than ever before, I would have thought, given the quality of bandwidth and 24/7 access to internet handy in your pocket through smartphone. Everyone is kind of going through it. You don't have to really go back to look for a desktop option, even either in office or back home. It's there in the pocket all the time, 24/7 with you, and you can have an access to internet, and you can have an download an app, and you can do the transaction. So it's becoming so convenient and easy for the consumer. So more and more, I would have thought that the shift is actually going to happen from offline to online. Innovation is something that happens really, really frequently in the internet space. So you take an example of MyDala. They actually have done a good job, and there are many others that will happen, and there will be more and more innovation coming. I don't see innovation stopping. So the successful players when it comes to innovation are going to be who are solving the consumer problem. So if there is a consumer insight, if there is a consumer pain area that you're trying to address, and you're looking at that pain area and saying that, this has been the issue at this point in time, can it make it better? Can I make it better and address that pain area and make it even more convenient and easier and absolutely kind of easy to use, from consumer point of view, are going to be successful businesses. There will be some innovations which would look cool and may not really address the pain area, and that's okay. Those are the kind of innovations that they'll look good and it gives you feel good kind of a factor. But I think the successful from a business point of view, the innovations are going to be which are just solving customer pain areas.